the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker. We're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
And it is Hump Day, Wednesday, the big camel day, whatever you want to call it. My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist, and I do really cool stuff. We are brought to you by the one, the only Tusk. Tusk is a cryptocurrency co-founded by my friend Rob McNeely, and it's really cool because it's focused on the firearms market. It's not a pump and dump. It's not a scam. It is just cool.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And we have people from all over the world, East Coast, West Coast, everywhere else. We have, for example, Robert, who is behind the lines in New Jersey. We have people from Mississippi, like Toxic Patch Co's owner, Zach Carr, and Swamp Dog Armory. We are all over the place and all over the world. We are also brought to you by Black Swan Tactical. Black Swan Tactical has a pretty good sale, but if you use the code Grumpy, it's the same sale. But it's 10% off everything in the store up until, I think, Saturday night at midnight or Sunday night at midnight for a back-to-school special. Go check it out. Get your kids some Black Swan Tactical shirts because that will probably not make their teachers happy, but that's fun.
Black Swan Tactical, your number one source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code CRUMPY. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
And as always, you can always support us on Patreon at patreon.com/John Crump. That would be me. Let me introduce you to my co-host. I had two co-hosts today. The first, and they're both dicks.
You're dual-wielding Richards.
Yeah, dual-wielding Richards.
First, yeah, he's got two hands.
Richard Hughes, also known as, oh my God, as Flying Rich. All we need is Tony Simon to come on. Then
hold on. Did we get demonetized yet?
Wait for it.
Flying Rich, and then we have the Hoff himself, Richard Hoffman. Welcome to the show, guys. Flying Rich has a channel on YouTube called Flying Rich and Flying Rich Vehicles, where he does vehicle stuff. And Flying Rich, he does gun stuff. Check him out. And of course, the Hoff is the best Uzi builder in the world, owner of BWE Firearms, and he has a channel, BWE Firearms, on YouTube. And he's here after having chemo today. He actually showed up.
Yep.
So
I'm bagging all.
He's trying to take over Flying Rich's job.
Rich, don't you say that people go into chemo and they're like, you know, you got to wheel them in, wheel them out, and they look like, you know,
yeah,
zombies.
A lot of them look like death warmed over.
Wow. Well, you're killing it, man.
You know, I'm doing what I got to do.
We have Robert saying that we have Dick squared, Key saying D squared or R squared. I see G-Webs out there who gave me a thumbs up. G-Webs, free fill the joint. feel free to join. Everyone out there, this is an open stream. So if anybody wants
yeah.
to be on the stream, you can go down into the description and click on the link that's a StreamYard, or there's a pinned comment that you can click on as well, and we'll bring you on and you can say hi and ask a question if you want. Probably not going to be asking any questions to me because I
Hi.
really don't know anything.
Am I getting paid for this?
Rich, no. I'll send you some Tusk.
You're not sending my Tusk, are you?
Of course.
Yeah.
No. I'm definitely going to hook them up with some Tusk. You just need to create a Tusk account, and I'll hook you up with some Tusk.
I don't even know how to do that.
That's easy.
We'll walk you through it. Yeah. So let's start out by talking about a discussion that was had by Mr. Hoffman and our friend Hank Strange.
Hank is strange.
I think Hank might think he created a monster.
A monster or a monster?
Like a monster.
I'm good with a monster. I'd like to be a monster.
Oh, like from the show?
Yep.
Well, whatever, same thing. He thinks he created a monster
He probably did.
with you.
Or he got me
because
started.
You've been on freaking like 18,000 podcasts in the last 2 weeks.
I know, it's been crazy.
Dude.
When was I on yours? Yours was the first one. You know, I've been on Hank's for Hank and I were talking
For
after the
years.
show, and it's been like 2 years.
Yep.
You know, I've probably been on, half a dozen or a dozen shows. And
How did Hank find you? Was it from Trey?
No, it was from God, who was it?
You did like a MP5 for him or something like that, right?
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
one
but
of
that
my
was-
customers that said, "Oh, you ought to be on Hank's show," and I'm like, "Who? What? Huh?" I don't even think I had at that point ever seen a podcast.
Uh-huh.
Guns or not, just it's like, the hell is that? And he hooked us up, and I've been doing Hank's show, and then John, how did we get together? I don't even remember.
You filled out the guest form.
That's what it was. I think I saw you on Hank's show or something, and you said something about a guest form, and it's like, okay, I'll fill one out.
You go to John Crop Live and you can fill out the guest form to be on the show, or you can just join the live stream right now with the link that's in the pinned comment or the description.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we have Zach Carr of Toxic Patch Co., who never shows his
Oh,
face,
and Clover.
and Clover Tack.
Oh,
Let's
thought
go.
I'd stop by and say, hey.
Hi, Zach.
Hey,
Hi, Clover.
I just came to take over the show. This is a coup.
Shoot.
Need everybody to put their hands behind their head, please, and form a single solitary line. This is now the Clover Tack Show. Sorry.
do we have to bend over too?
Bend over for Clover?
Yeah, you don't
Oh, and Zach's gone.
have to bend over. I carry step stools with me wherever I go. It's all good, man.
So, how you doing, Clover?
I'm doing pretty good. Probably have the Rona, but
Oh,
Oh,
sorry to hear
man.
that.
but it's all good. It's all good. I came to give it to everybody, so enjoy.
So
Cool.
I went out to dinner yesterday, and my father-in-law, he wore the mask, and once he sat down, he took the mask off. I'm like, oh yeah, the Rona's this high. I mean, with those statistics, it's almost impossible for you unless you're on a ladder.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's one of them weird things. I don't know that I have it, but like everybody close to me has it, and I'm
Oh,
sick.
yeah.
And
You're
I'm
in.
sick, and so I probably do. But I don't really go many places and all of that. So my wife was like, "Is it really worth going to the doctor just to get a test, just to confirm or see that you have it?" I'm like, "Well, not really." So because I don't care one way or the other.
No.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I would say no. There's nothing that they're really gonna do unless you get like really sick.
More importantly, though, with the short that you put out earlier, John, that's why I was going to come hijack, because today, after 150 freaking years, Texas finally has some rights restored. So yeehaw for that.
Congratulations.
Is it midnight today, or what's going on?
Oh, it was midnight last night.
Last night? Oh,
First.
okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
And are the streets red with blood, or was that a couple of years ago?
I haven't been to town, and I actually talked to my local sheriff today because if I wasn't sick, I would have already recorded a video with him talking about this. That's one of my plans. One of the things I want to do once it kicked off, and just get it from a law enforcement perspective about how, has anything changed with their department, and then maybe tips for interaction with law enforcement officers for those that are, constitutional carrying, tips to avoid, right? Interaction with law enforcement officers, that sort of thing. Probably. So anyway, I followed up with him on that today because obviously being under the weather, whether it's Rona or not, I don't need to be out in public and doing interviews and different things and making other people sick. So I had to kind of reschedule that for next week. And he immediately was available to take my call and stuff. So I'm assuming that no, the streets are not running red with blood. I'm assuming at this point. Now, if anybody out there has evidence to the contrary, that makes for great YouTube videos, by the way. Throw that stuff up, you will go viral. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we have Rogue Banshee on, who's going to be on this show tomorrow. But I wanted to know, Clover, do you know who Zach is?
I do not know who Zach is, and since he, wants to wear a mask and be all like private, I don't know why people don't turn their cameras on and show their face on camera. It makes no sense to me. It really speaks to the character of an individual when they'll come on a live stream and have no webcam playing, or you're not able to see their face, or they wear a mask or whatever. Why do people hide behind avatars and masks?
I would say about 50%.
I don't get it. Those people are shady. Yep. You need to avoid those people.
Toxic Patch Co. is, Zach owns Toxic Patch Co., which makes some of the sickest patches. All the patches on blackswantactical.com are made by Toxic Patch Co. And we are getting some patches made. I'll show you the October and November patches right now because
I want to see Zach's beard, because did he chop the 5 inches off the bottom and send it to me to glue on the top here?
All right, I want to show something right here. This is the glow-in-the-dark version of the Flying Ridge patch that we are launching, which I think is really, really cool. I want to get Zach. I know what your opinion of it is because, it's your company. But I want to get everyone else's opinion of it. So here we go. This is the glow-in-the-dark version of
look at that.
Look at that. Did he fly
Did you
into
post that on your IG?
No. This is basically this is him sending it to me. Zach, I think Zach company, they did a bang up job once again.
Cool.
Did Rick fly into a nuke plant or something?
Hold on.
Do you know the containment building at a nuclear power plant is designed to take the impact of a fully loaded 747 in a full throttle dive and retain and not sustain any damage?
And are you the test pilot for all of that? Just curious. Is that what you do?
Is that kind of like the Bugs Bunny one where you drink gasoline?
We've all heard about the multitude of crashes Rich has been involved in. Now we know how those occur. Is he tests nuclear silos or whatever?
He doesn't tell them he's coming. He just shows up one day and they all scramble.
Well, it's got to be a surprise inspection, right? I mean, you can't plan it.
All right, and I'm going to show the other patch here once I get it up of the Tony Simon one, which I also approved today to go into production. This will be the November patch, and I think this patch I might actually release early because it is just it's too damn good to let go to waste.
That Tony Simon one's killer.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Clover?
Seen what?
Or Rogue Banshee, the Tony Simon patch that's going to be our November patch. If you haven't,
That's a
you're
good
about to
one.
see it. You know Tony Simon is, of course.
No, I no.
Never heard of the guy.
No, I mean we've been in the same room before, but I just somehow I just overlooked him. I guess he blends into the crowd. He's whatever. I guess I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to pick him out of a room full of people. I mean,
And before I show that, I'm going to show the non-glowing version of the Flying Rich patch, which is
glowing version stuff freaks me out. Okay, I don't like glowing version stuff.
Oh, you can get this one.
You know how many times I've almost shot my patch wall because I walk into a dark room?
Holy
me out.
crap! You're really on today, Clover.
I don't have that itchy of a trigger finger, you know.
I'm really on some medication right now. Part of it.
Yeah, and don't take the ivermectin. The cows need that.
I have no idea what that is, dude. I'm married to a nurse. Sister-in-law's a nurse practitioner. Family's full of nurses and doctors, and I'm blessed to not have to know anything medical. I just say this is wrong, and they do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So don't even try to talk medical with me. I can't do it.
And
John,
this
are
is
you a
going to be
fan
what
of,
the Tony Simon patch is going to look like, Clover and Rogue Banshee.
John, are you a fan of Pit Viper sunglasses?
I have no idea what Pit Viper sunglasses are.
Well, you're about to find out.
Uh-oh.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, he did that while Tony Simon was on the stream on Monday. He drew it up. Like
I don't get the white. What's the white? It's kind of small on the screen. Is he wearing a bikini or top, or is that his?
Oh no, those are
Bubble
bubbles.
bath.
Oh, the white right
oh.
here. That's part of his beard. Let me
Oh,
blow
that's
it up.
his beard. Okay.
Dude, you got to zoom in on that, John. Come on, really?
It looked like he was wearing a white bikini top. I'm like, what in the world? That's even funnier.
Oh yeah. I see what Clover's saying.
But that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. That should look a little bit better.
Well, I got to jump on a call here for the customer, but I just joined in to tell Clover that you can't spread the Rona on a live stream if you're 6 feet from your monitor.
Just go back to work. Nobody cares what you have to say.
Oh, damn.
Woo!
I don't remember.
Rogue,
I don't remember putting a quarter in your slot machine, Rogue. Get lost.
Well, it wasn't a quarter; it was a dime. So I'm giving you some change back. I'm giving you the 9 cents back.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah,
enough, fair
also you can't spread it if you don't turn your camera on either.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, that's
Yeah,
like my sister-in-law on her Facebook page. She's got the mascot. I'm like, oh, so that's so you don't give it to anybody on the internet?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I figured that information didn't make it down to Texas. You know, those two things will keep you from spreading it on a live stream.
Well, for years we've known that computer viruses do exist, so it is a thing.
It is a thing, yeah. Well, you see, that's why you keep a condom on top of your computer to keep you from getting viruses.
Oh well. We
I
could've
always
known
put
that,
the
yeah.
RJ45 on with a condom.
Yeah, how's that working out for you?
Speaking of that, Rogue will appreciate this, I'm sure. So, my baby brother calls. He come by and he got some Cat 5 and some connectors. He's got to run some stuff, and he calls me and he goes, How the heck do I arrange these wires? And would you believe it's been so long? Because good
You
Lord,
forgot?
man, I mean, I've sold my business 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something. Now I ain't made a freaking Cat 5 cable in 5 or 6 years.
There's
And
this thing called the internet.
I had to go Google it, and then once I seen it, I Googled it, and almost immediately when I seen a picture, right? Because I've done it so much, it's like the order in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's it. But I did. I had to go refresh my memory. It sucked.
And it's not like Bad Boys Rape Our Young Girls, but Violet Goes Willingly.
Okay, so Rich was talking about how we shouldn't get demonetized, and now
we
we're done.
were 10 seconds ago.
You're good. You got me on the stream. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, Clover can just like
I'm a YouTube plant. Everybody knows that.
he's the YouTube whisperer.
I'm a YouTube plant. I ain't no whisperer. I'm a plant. I'm here to destroy the gun community in the 2A on behalf of YouTube, and nobody even knows it.
Is
They think I'm helping.
is that a rumor going around?
Oh, I don't know if it is or not.
Ooh, we're still monetized.
But let's start it. You know, I mean, why not?
No, I think that'd be pretty cool. Oh, there was a freaking question about rollerblade delay. Never mind.
Something you can't
block
even say.
delayed.
Roller
Rollerblades?
back delayed.
I'm against rollerblades on firearms. I don't think we need them. It's not. It doesn't mention it in the Constitution. So
Roller
I'm
delayed
against it.
blowback.
Roller
That just sounds dirty.
roller
say the
delayed
HK
clones.
system.
Why are
Tell
roller
me-
delayed clones so expensive? There it is.
Chuck,
That's
how many
where Hoffman-
MP5s do you own?
Me?
Yeah.
I only had one and I sold it.
Really? I'm shocked.
That I sold it.
No, I'm just shocked that you only had one. I mean, I didn't get to see the third floor gun room, but
You got
No.
three. He's got 3 floors of gun rooms.
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
I think he's got 3 guns on the floor. Is what he means.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
No. I think Rich has seen at least the one
Yeah.
room of the basement gun room.
Cool. So anyway, is anybody going to answer the question?
Yeah,
Wait,
HK and HK clones are expensive because they look like HKs. And
Well,
people
That's the
are
only
stupid.
reason.
So are we just
that's
going to
it.
talk about guns that are unreasonably expensive for no good reason?
Well, isn't there when we're talking about the roller delayed, right? We're talking about more parts, machining tolerances, and a lot of other factors kind of go into that too, correct?
Yeah,
It's the typical German shit. Why use 5 parts when you can use 25?
Right, like a Swiss watch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking $5 Walmart tells you the time. You know.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, and I'm a watch guy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like. I love the beauty and and I like all that intricate work and precision and stuff. I love it. But ultimately, my grandfather, 90-something years old, and I don't think he's ever wore a watch that cost over $3, right? And he's never been late to work and anything else entire life. So, yeah.
One of my favorite watches that I own, it was a 1964 Timex, which I think is just cool.
Mm-hmm. There's my watch.
Yeah, that and
There's my watch.
my
You
Peace
guys-
Times 38.
You guys are too easy. I can literally say one word and completely change the course of the chat.
I mean,
No.
have you ever been on my
Horrible.
show? This is the way it runs, man.
Yeah, it's like-
I thought we were going
I'm-
to talk about unreasonably expensive guns that shouldn't be for a while. Because one gun that I think is the FN57 is unreasonably expensive. There's no reason that's not a $400 gun.
It's got FN on it. What are you talking about? Come on, dude.
Yeah, but the FNS40, they're like $450 guns. There's no reason that 5.7 is over $1,000.
It's because people will pay it.
Yeah, I think it's more because it became famous for some reason.
So there is a thing about creating and holding a certain type of market. And you see this not just in firearms, you see this in anything and everything, right? Whether it's the auto world or anything else. I mean, with my B channel and the cards, for example, the sports cards, trading cards and stuff, it's a whole separate thing. Like, the cards in them of themselves and the packs are not expensive, but then there's rare variables and inserts. And then all of a sudden somebody becomes famous or something happens that, happens around that particular item. And I'm not speaking specifically to the cards, but you get where I'm going with this, that it creates a whole market above and beyond what the actual item itself is. Right. I mean,
Yep.
technically in the sports card world, it costs a penny or less than a penny. Multiple cards can be printed for a penny, right? It has nothing to do with that. And so a lot of firearms, I mean, sadly it's just that way. It's like why, you've got old stuff that went out of production and then it came back into production, but then the old stuff is more sought after and it does hold true that the more modern stuff typically is not as good or robust or whatever. I love that word robust, by the way.
Well, that's because the bean counters.
As the older stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, that does play in sometimes. But quite often, the new stuff is no different. It's the same design, the same metallurgy, the same materials made on the same machines, you name it. As the other stuff, it's just that that's the older stuff, and there's a certain nostalgia or market that revolves around that. It's the same as when, let's talk about infringements for a minute. The Hughes Amendment, right, created this huge, multi-million, billion-dollar market around machine guns.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
guess what? As far as the individual citizen is concerned, you ain't gonna own anything post 86, right?
Mhm.
It ain't happening because there's nothing. If you were a dealer, there's dealer samples that can be transferred, but the average individual to get stuff transferable for that may or may not be out there. So it's created a whole other market. And then now, if we go to fight the NFA on that or Hughes Amendment or whatever on that front, think of all the people that have millions and millions of dollars tied up that think anyway that if we get rid of that, it's somehow going to kill that older market. Well, the fact that all that stuff is pre-86, even if you are able to produce something newer, you've still got that collectability value, the same as you've got with old firearms now. And so that's a farce, I believe, that's used a lot by the people that, let's say FUDs, right, that defend the Hughes Amendment in a way, and they say, "Oh, well, that'll kill that whole sector," and blah blah blah. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe it will anyway.
Most of the guys that have the big machine gun collections, all the ones I've talked to have said, "Man, get rid of the Hughes Amendment because, I got a bunch of stuff that's going to go down in price, Max, Uzis, and stuff,
Yep.
Stens. But the key thing is, I'll be able to buy a whole lot more shit."
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
my first call is going to be if the Hughes Amendment gets repealed, I'm calling Richard.
Yeah. But like original Thompsons, they're not going to lose their value.
Right.
Original BARs, they're not going to lose their value. The good stuff, they're going to keep their value. They might drop a little bit, but not much.
Well, and think about other things you could bring into the country, right?
Yeah.
That are overseas or whatever. And I know that's a whole other bureaucratic ball of wax. I get that. But I mean, think about all the other stuff. Think about all the parts kits, right, that are in, and we know this is out there, that are in attics and here, there, and yonder, that their parts kits or whatever that never were registered, right?
Yep.
So think
Oh, for
about all
sure.
the other stuff that can potentially come into the market as well. And I tell you, even if it's that way, I don't like me, for example, right? So get rid of it. I'm all for it. Axe Hughes, axe the NFA completely, and everything else falls apart would be my take on that.
Yep.
But, I don't know that I'm going to be running out and buying full auto. I don't know that I'm going to be, having the capacity to do it. I don't know that I'm going to be building a full auto. Why? Because I don't want to feed the thing.
Yeah, it's gonna drop back to the way it was pre-86. Most people didn't buy machine guns because you couldn't afford to feed them.
Right.
I remember in the mid '80s, a Colt M16 was $100 cheaper than the exact same Colt AR-15
Mhm.
because
Oh my
nobody
God.
wanted to buy them. It's like, well, I can't
Because they
afford
didn't
to
wanna
feed
feed
it. I'll
'em.
get the semi-auto.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's a little switchy. You don't
Yep.
have to have.
Well, but some stuff, there's no such thing as a little switchy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's an all or
Yeah.
nothing game.
Yeah.
Now, I guess you could just load 5 in the magazine or something.
Yeah,
But
what fun is
again,
that?
But again, I mean, when you're talking about a few boxes with semi-auto, a few boxes, you're out on a few boxes of ammo, you're out on the range with buddies, and you can spend, better part of an hour easily, maybe even longer with semi-auto, just plinking around.
Yeah.
And it lends itself to better marksmanship, which is something that we all need to advocate for. And I think we pretty much all do. It lends itself to that. Or you can just burp through 3 or 4 boxes in 5 minutes. It's like I'm going for the extended fun. It's like I'm not going to get dressed up and do all of this and drive into town and pay for movie tickets and whatever to sit down to watch a YouTube short. It's like not happening.
You just killed my freaking plan to make money, Clover.
We
You're
just
not gonna
haven't
do that.
corrupted you yet.
By the way, if you're not doing YouTube Shorts, you need to do YouTube Shorts. And here's my tip on that. And yes, I'm monopolizing the conversation and changing the subject. Do YouTube Shorts. I kid you not, on FUD stuff, man. Do YouTube Shorts on revolvers and like single shot shotguns and things like that. The amount of traffic, global traffic you will get, and some of the awesome conversations you'll get in the comments. You have to use Google Translate to do it. Is amazing. But it's cool. It is cool. But when you do that, here in the States, like tactical is the thing. I get it. But worldwide, they love old cowboy revolvers and things like that worldwide. They're super behind the curve when it comes to, all the crazy tacked out stuff that we have. And YouTube Shorts, because of the way that YouTube pushes that out, has got a much broader global appeal as well. And I'll tell you what, it can help your channel. It really can. I would advise people to do it if you got revolvers and, like I said, quote unquote FUD stuff sitting around. Do it. Less than a minute, vertical video, upload it to YouTube, hashtag shorts in the title or description, and let it roll.
Yeah.
Do you really have to do the hashtag shorts? I mean, if you just click on your phone, I'm doing a short.
Okay, so you don't have to, but here's my recommend. I'm glad you brought that up, Rich. Thank you for that question. That was beautiful, and it allows me to continue to manipulate the conversation. So here's my tactic, I should say. So yes, you can use the YouTube app and do your shorts. I would stay away from that. Here's why. Film your video normally, not in that app and blah, blah, blah. Film your video normally in vertical. Upload it normally as you would. And yes, put the hashtag. Okay. Now, anything less than a minute in vertical, YouTube is automatically going to pick up as a short, right? And it's going to throw it on that shorts shelf. But if you create it the normal, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, and I know you can see me because unlike some people, I like to put my camera on, right? So upload it like a normal, quote unquote, normal video. Put your thumbnail in it like a normal video. That way, when it shows up on your video page, and here's the thing, you get the best of both worlds. You get not only the shorts shelf and everything with that approach, but it also plays on desktop and other things as a regular video as well. And you can also monetize those regular video plays.
You can monetize short plays too.
Right.
Well, you can, yeah. I mean, but it's you can and you can't. They're still working on the revenue sharing system with shorts, so the shorts plays theoretically work as normal video plays at this particular point in time. But eventually, there will be a quote like a profit sharing type program they're designing for shorts. And that'll be at first anyway. It'll be an invitation only. Big shorts channels are going to be the only ones that get into that. If you're just doing a short every now and then, but I'm telling you, just doing a short every now and then. I've got shorts with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views that is like, wow. It's a new birdie revolver. And it's like, what in the world? And if I made a 10-minute video on that Uberti revolver, it would not have gotten the amount of views and interaction and everything else that it got. It's amazing how some of the oddball stuff in shorts just blows up. And it's because you're reaching millions and millions and billions, even more people with that.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, Dev, when you do that, it still has to be under a minute long?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Got to be vertical. Got to be under a minute. Yeah. Yep.
So you can edit.
Yeah.
You can do a vertical video that you've edited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna edit it anyway. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you don't edit your shorts, but I do because I'll put a background track and I'll put graphics and I'll put other things. One of the things with shorts is, and if you've got informational shorts, like I dropped a shorts earlier, That's where I first come in here and was giving John grief about the constitutional carry here in Texas, and more specifically, linking below to, and it's great that people out there, Texas Law Shield and the resource they have that answers a whole lot of questions about it. So I encourage people that are curious about it to go read that. That particular one, some of the stuff that John does, where you're just flipping on the camera and talking, that stuff's not going to get global. I mean, that's very niche driven and whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've tried to
It's not really gonna get crazy, but if you're looking to really get something out there in the world and blow it up, you're talking about shorts, it needs to be visually. There needs to be it needs to be ADD, right? You need to be flipping screens and flipping images fairly quickly. You need music. You need stuff on screen. It needs to be, visually busy for the most part. And that's standard practice nowadays with, or seems to be with YouTube Shorts, the popular stuff. Look at TikTok, right? That's what it was designed to sort of compete against.
Texas Bullet made a suggestion of doing a PWEDC video course short. You don't want to know what a PWEDC is.
Apparently not.
PW is prison wallet.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what you're saying is butthole guns.
We're definitely demonetized now.
Let me check.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've yet to see anyone that I can pull that off. So sorry.
We're not talking about mere mortals here. We're talking about exceptional PWEDC people.
Well, my NAA revolver, mini revolver, works pretty well.
I'm telling you right now, I own those, and they are still entirely too big. Nope, ain't happening.
It just depends how much practice and how much lube you use.
And while that's funny, and I get it, yeah, again, that anything EDC is not going to be conducive to people around the world. So focus on the more mainstream, some of the more iconic, whatever, historical type things, and you'll get good traffic. I can almost promise you will.
And we're still monetized.
Yeah. Clover. Somebody asked, what happened in Texas, a while ago, and we never got back to it.
Somebody dropped a nuke. It's a wasteland here now. I don't know. What do you mean? What happened in Texas? I don't know.
Today is the first day of
the rest of our lives
carry in Texas, and it is a good day. I know my friend I was talking to was celebrating hardcore. Rachel Malone, who had, I believe she had a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Even though other people photobombed, he's signing.
That's horrible, man. Let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about Rachel, because she's the rock star, right?
Yeah. Rachel did talk, and that kind of pissed me off when all the videos are coming and it's talking about NRA that. It's like, no, man. It's like Rachel's not getting the shine that she deserved for that.
So here's something that people ain't gonna like to hear this, and this is it. People that just holler "burn down the NRA," they need to wise up.
No, I don't want to burn down the NRA. Definitely don't want to burn down the NRA.
I didn't say, I wasn't pointing any fingers. I'm just saying the people that say that need to wise up. First of all, there's so many aspects of the NRA. One of them being the societal aspect of the NRA. And we're talking about the non-political, the stuff the NRA does that inadvertently affects 2A and the future of 2A, but it's not about fighting legislations and doing other things, right? So we've got to be mindful of burning down the NRA or losing the NRA and losing that we've had for, 150? I don't even know years. A lot. right? So the second thing, and Rachel will be one of the first to talk about this if you press her on it. And again, I'm not giving NRA the majority of the credit. I think definitely goes to Rachel Malone. But there was some strong arming and stuff that needed to be done, and I won't get into specifics about that. I think she discussed it when I had her on the podcast a few months back. But there was some strong arming and stuff that needed to be done, and the NRA does have the clout with politicians to do some of that.
Oh yeah.
So they do have a place when they're not going against what we want. Is a problem. They're not making stupid comments, and different things. I mean, when they're working with us and for us, their clout as the big, huge organization that they are, it can be used in some great ways to accomplish some great things.
Yeah, noise in the house.
If we lose them, right? Who do we have to? Let's say that the NRA. Let's say that last meeting when there was all the uproar and then the lawsuits. Let's say the NRA went away last year, and then there needed to be some strong arming to get the Texas constitutional carry stuff done this year, right? Who's there to do that? Who fills that void? Who fills that gap?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah. No. I mean, NRA has so much money; it would take forever.
I love John, but John doesn't have that kind of influence.
But John knows everyone.
Yeah. Okay. And Rob McNeely is in the house. What is up, Rob?
I'm representing.
Hey guys. Yeah,
Rob.
baby.
He's
How you guys
representing,
doing
and
today?
look right above me, Rob.
I like that. I like it a lot, actually. So, I got an opinion. You want to hear it? You like my opinions? I'll give you my opinion. I think the NRA is killing itself, and it doesn't need to be killed from the inside or outside. It's already killing itself. And just because if the NRA's leadership goes away, that doesn't mean in any way that the resources that are currently funneling into the NRA go away. They're going to go somewhere else. And so, but I think that the resources currently going to the NRA, which are being wasted for things like fucking jets and suits and yachts and bullshit, could actually be used more efficiently by other organizations. And so I'm not worried if the NRA goes away. I think the resources will go to, more efficient outfits. And I think other outfits will, rise to fill that void. But I think, unfortunately, you have a tremendous amount of resources being wasted and squandered by the current leadership. On top of the NRA brand is, I believe, probably forever tarnished. I don't want anything to do with it myself. And I know a lot, and I've talked to lots of people that were pulling out from the NRA annual meeting. And I was supposed to go down there too. But I decided that I'm not going to spend any more money on the NRA. I'm not going to renew my membership to the NRA. And I know a lot of companies pulled out, not because of COVID. They used that as an excuse, but they're sick of the NRA's bullshit. They don't want to be associated with it. The NRA immolated. They self-immolated. No one took out the NRA except the really fucking bad leadership. And you know what? When you have such bad leadership that is, destroying the brand, then it should die. And those resources will be used by other organizations.
I like Rob. He's able to come in like me and just completely take over the room. It's awesome. I love it. So now I don't have to be the only one talking because, there's somebody else. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. But what worries me is, again, and I don't know if I was talking about this, Rob, before you came in or you heard me. But what worries me is we've got, a century plus of education, awareness, competition, safety, general effect on society that the NRA has facilitated through the various programs and other things. And what I see is so much vitriol and everything else politically and 2A related to the NRA that it's almost like people are blinded to that aspect and what this country would look like had none of that ever existed. Had generations and generations and generations never been exposed to firearm ownership and hunting and training in school and competition and other things that has come about and is still ongoing, right? Because of those efforts from the NRA. And because nobody is talking about that, seemingly talking about that or focused on that, is that something that people are making these contingency plans to, if the NRA does implode on itself, as you say, are they making plans to take over that infrastructure, that ground level, that grassroots level of activity, and somehow help co-opt that and keep that organized and working? And or do they even have the capacity or willing to do that? And if they don't, what impact does that have on us overall? We get into this trap as 2A people, as firearm owners, as whatever. We get into this trap sometimes of thinking too narrow-minded, and we think about political and politicians and infringements and legislation and court battles and all this other stuff, and we don't talk enough about the societal impacts and what morphs and changes in role society. And losing things like that is a major hit to society. Now, I read, to compound and keep manipulating the conversation here like I love to do, I had read the other day, I was reading some stuff about Miss Shannon going against, or somebody, one of the big anti-organizations going against the NSSF now. So imagine the two most powerful things that we've got going power-wise. I'm not saying they're either one are the greatest since sliced bread, is the NRA and the NSSF. And what worries me moving forward, talk about the NRA show being canceled, SHOT Show, who knows in 2022 how that works. But the NSSF, a lot of NSSF's revenue generation and stuff that keeps them going is SHOT Show. And they've already lost 2021. So if they lose 2022 and Miss Shannon is going after them with Bloomberg's money and everything else, then is there potential that something starts happening with the NSSF and we lose not only the big name in NRA and everything that goes with it? Again, I'm not talking about necessarily the 2A political protection aspect of it, but everything that goes with it. And then now we've lost the big, huge industry side of things, and also safety and competition and all the other things that NSSF, National Shooting Sports Month, for example, encompasses, and we lose that as well. Where do we sit, right? It's a scary thought for me.
GWEF points out that the NRA has like $352.5 million.
It's crazy. And so I would say is the fact is, one, only having one big dog have all those resources, and then for those resources to be misappropriated and misused in the way, and the amount of negative press that brings to the 2A community. The leadership of the NRA have failed us and failed the 2A community, and have really undermined all the great work the NRA had done historically up until probably the last 20 years. Now, if you're asking me organizationally wise, well, I think that there should be different regional organizations, and I think there should also be organizations that are focused on the training. I wish NRA, for the most part, would have focused on training, would have focused on safety, and just kept doing that. I think you should have other organizations worry about lawsuits and have other organizations worry about lobbying.
Yep.
And so to me, that actually, so if one goes down, you still have others around. The problem is NRA tried to do everything.
Yep.
And they did them all bad, or a lot of them bad.
I just want to do a shout out to Norway really quick. Polar Knights is one of our European viewers. So
nice.
Right now they're the farthest ones away. Polar Knights from Norway watching us over on the Twitch.
So do we have to speak louder so he can hear us? Is that what we
So
gotta
if I get my buddy from India to watch, does that count?
Yep. And Zach Carr, I want to bring Zach Carr back on, put him up on the big screen really quick. Show what you're working on, Zach, because I saw it.
Check your Instagram. It's got a better account or a better photo of it.
This is awesome. Zach, oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm going to be sending you some more money.
What's the Instagram?
No, he sent it to me through chat. I'll show you. Our December patch. Andy investigating Kit Kats. That is awesome.
I love that. That is another cool one.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
I
so-
think I just sent an email to Zach. Is that who I was talking to?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll check.
Did I
Toxic
do-
Petchko?
Yeah, Zach's supposed to be sending me something.
All right. Well, guys, that is something that I will definitely be ordering. Zach put into production once my PayPal stuff gets sorted out. You'll get all the money. I transfer the money to Zach through PayPal. Today was the bank change. That's why the people that have stuff on Black Swan Tactical got paid out yesterday, and I forgot to send Zach his money for the new patches. So my old account at midnight switched over, and it takes a few days because the account didn't change, the routing number changed.
See,
So you have to go
I
through.
got it. I'm working on it.
Yeah, awesome. So you have to go through and basically do it's like a whole new account, even though that it's the same account, it's just a different routing number, but PayPal makes you verify everything again.
Well, PayPal does have a policy, John, and if you keep violating their policies, they're going to boot you from the platform. I've told you repeatedly, you cannot sell your home videos on like that on PayPal. You can't do it.
Well, I came in.
No
you guys
video,
were
just
talking-
t-shirts
it
and sportswear.
Is that the butthole guns or the shorts that were getting dropped? That's where I came in, and I was getting very confused about what was going on.
He does prison wallet everyday carry home videos. He also does gay midget bestiality porn and sells it. That's what I heard anyway. And sells it on through
Demonetized.
PayPal. So.
Hey, Clover. Can
Only
you
on
already
Betamax.
start my appeal right now for channel being demonetized?
Oh,
Dude,
do I
I'm
need to stop
telling
the
you,
streaming
it's
on my
all
channel?
Good. I'm on here. You're good, man. You're golden.
All right.
We can do nothing wrong. Come on, man.
What type of drugs did they put you on for COVID, man?
I don't know. They came in a little brown paper bag. Is that the way?
I was going to say whiskey.
Yeah.
Like-
They were in a little baggie, and I don't know.
Like, I've never had this medicine that you had to snort before.
I think the pharmacist's name was Bebe, maybe or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. I've never seen a pharmacy that had a door by a dumpster in a back alley. That's kind of weird too. But hey, that's where they told me to go. So
Just watch out for that little hole in the wall.
right.
Yeah. Or something coming out of that hole.
Man.
Polar Knight says prawn. I'm not going to say porn. You're already demonetized. So anyway, porn is like reading a cooking book when you're hungry. It doesn't help at all. Oh,
Hey, when they're doing porn now, are they all wearing masks?
I
don't
hope
know.
so. I mean,
I wouldn't know.
Chuck Norris Gun Club says, I get all my medication behind the dumpster. And Tanaka says, meds that you smoke. Gorillas and Guns says, mine came in a Ziploc bag.
Just gotta roll it from the bottom.
So a Ziploc bag, a Hobby Lobby bag, or a Great Value bag. There's a difference between the three. Just saying.
And I'm definitely not reading this one. I'll just put it up on the screen for everyone to read.
in case you're
Thanks,
wondering,
you
the rumor
Appalachian
is
gun runner.
true. Crump bought Epstein Island, and that's the flight that we're going to be taking when John flies with us.
Are you flying the plane?
Yes.
I'm not going.
I heard you drive the plane down the road.
Before he hits a car.
I'm okay with Rich flying the plane. It's when he crashes the plane that I have a problem.
He calls that uncontrolled flying when he crashes.
Well, it's technically called a RUD, a rapid unscheduled disassembly. Wow, you can barely read my pilot's license. I think that should be the eye test.
Chuck Norris Gun Club says landing's the hardest part. Not for Rich. He just, I mean, not a good landing, but he does land the plane. Not in one piece either, but
They actually gave you a license?
Hell yeah.
That's scary.
Flying Rich is crashing the plane for the sixth time since G23.
If you buy your Cracker Jacks in bulk at Costco, you get so many that you're almost guaranteed to get that license in at least one box of those. Just saying.
I'm looking for when was this issued?
While you're looking for that, I just want to put out a quick plug here for something good. On
a PW EDC plug?
Tell me something good.
On September 11th from 8 p.m. to midnight, we are doing a streamathon. All funds will go to, we're not going to be taking super chats. Everything will be directed to a GoFundMe for P80 Dan. P80 Dan works for Polymer 80, one of their longtime employees. His son has stage 3 cancer, and we're going to be putting everyone onto the GoFundMe. Hank Strange is going to be on. Jared from Gun and Gadget is going to be on. CRS Firearms, 2A EDU. A bunch of people are going to be coming on. Clover, you're invited. Rob, you're invited. The Hoff, you're invited. Rich, you're invited. Zach, you're invited. And all the money will go. P80 Dan's going to be on himself, and all the money will be going there. And we're going to be having some awesome prizes and everything else.
That sounds really boring. So.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I don't think anybody should show up for that.
JFD is going to be there as well. I have also invited Putang Clan is going to be on. So it's going to be a lot of
JSD wants to know if he's invited.
Yeah, he's invited.
Of course he's invited.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're gonna be talking, having a good time, and raising a lot of money because cancer sucks.
Yeah,
as the Hoff can attest to.
Yes, it does suck. I want to jump in right here real quick. Len Hold asked, Rob, is Bitcoin going to crash? And the rumor I heard is that Flying Rich owns half of Bitcoin. And so, of course, it's going to crash.
Oh.
That's funny.
I think this morning it shows violence.
So Bitcoin and all this cryptocurrency stuff is a very touchy subject to me. And here's why. I don't understand it. I tried to understand it, and I just probably don't spend enough time. I've got better things to do. Honestly,
Rob,
it doesn't interest me. But here's the thing. So months ago, right, there were all these people talking about stuff, and they're like, well, I had my Trump money sitting around. That's all I've done with it. I mean, it went into the savings account. It's all just sit there. I talked to my wife. I'm like, they talk about all this cryptocurrency stuff, and that's just sitting here anyway. What if we just, what if I played around with, a few $100 of that or something? It's like, okay, let's do that. That's fine. And so people told me something about, what was it? Bitcoin Cash, I think, was one, and the other one was Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
Something like that. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, sounds like a Pokemon character. Anyway, so I guess that's like a really long-term investment. It's like stocks or anything else, I guess. But I don't understand it, and it's like it progressively lost money, and then now it's trying to build back up a little bit. But then I don't know what affects it overall, or so is there a really quick, since Rob's in here and that question was asked to Rob, and he likes to manipulate the conversation as well as I do, is there any like cryptocurrency for dummies, like breakdown quick version you can give somebody?
Ripple.
So like what it is or which ones you should look at?
A little bit of both, maybe, because what it is would kind of explain that in a way, right?
I don't give investment advice because I'm not licensed to.
No, correct.
And I will say this: most crypto is super high risk investment, and if you can't afford to lose 100% of what you invest in it right now, don't invest in it.
Correct.
Because in a lot of the cryptos and some of the ones you mentioned, like Dogecoin, there are no fundamentals behind it. You're literally just like throwing money at the wind because of a hype cycle. And you can make a lot of money on hype cycles if you know what you're doing and you realize it's a hype cycle. The problem is where a lot of people throw money at something that's in a hype cycle, they don't realize it, and then it crashes before they dump out of it, or call it a pump and dump kind of thing. But some of these are just like a hype cycle. Crypto is just it's an honest form of money, where and it's all and all the rules about it are controlled by open source software that everybody can read the rules. And so cryptocurrencies there's a lot of different types of cryptocurrencies that do a lot of different things, but ultimately cryptocurrencies are monies that are not launched by governments, but they're also not subject to the whims of the monetary policy created by politicians. And so with Tusk, if you want to be involved with Tusk, we're not focused on a hype cycle. We're focused on solving a real problem that the gun industry faces. But if you want to understand what we're doing, the software is all publicly viewable. You can see what the rules are, and there's no single person that can just decide to change the rules. So we have a voting process that's done on a blockchain, by the way. You can't manipulate it like you can, electronic voting machines. But the reality is, if in our blockchain, if you hold one Tusk, you have one vote, and you get to vote on miners or block producers. You get to vote on worker proposals and things like that. So you have actually, not only when you are in our community do you benefit from the economic piece of it, but you also benefit from having some say in how the community is operated. And so, but ultimately, it's just money created by private organizations for specific purposes. And the rules are out there, and they can't be manipulated because of politics or by politicians. And that's probably the big difference between government-issued money and cryptocurrency projects.
Okay, so it's similar to, if you're talking about like the investment side or status or whatever. And I understand you can't give advice or specifics on that, but so it's like the people almost that day trade, right? They watch little trends in the stock market and they're really quick and play that, rather than where I traditionally am in the stock market is a long game, right? It's like, oh wow, this is a really good price. I know that over the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever, this is gonna double, triple, quadruple, maybe even more in value, and I'm not paying attention to monthly, quarterly reports from that company and changes in CEO and staff and new product R&D, and like some of those people that are, like I said, that would be akin to the hype, correct?
Yeah. So my three long-term investments are Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Cash, but Bitcoin, Tusk, our crypto, and Ravencoin.
So what's the difference between the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Cash?
Bitcoin Cash is a derivative of Bitcoin. It was a fork. So what happened is in the Bitcoin community back in 2017, there was a big disagreement on how the protocol should be run. And the group that lost made their own fork and rebranded, and they changed some parameters on that. So Bitcoin Cash is a little cheaper to operate and a little faster than Bitcoin. So the people that made Bitcoin Cash, they wanted to make it easier and better for retailers to use it. Whereas the people that won, think about the Federalists versus the Anti-Federalists. It's very similar, actually. But the people that stuck with Bitcoin BTC, not BCH, but BTC, the normal Bitcoin, those people wanted to keep 10-minute block time. So meaning that the quickest a transaction in Bitcoin is 10 minutes, but it's usually a lot longer than that. And that's because the majority of people that supported the original or the Bitcoin BTC, they wanted to keep what they call small block sizes and slow transmission times, or transaction times, whereas the Bitcoin Cash people wanted faster transaction times and bigger blocks. And so there was a big disagreement in that community, and the community fractured. And then you got Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And then out of that, you got Bitcoin SP that came out of Bitcoin Cash. So that's what happens on that type of blockchain. If they just disagree, they just fork and split, and the community fractures. I think Bitcoin Cash is actually philosophically, I'm not saying managerially, but more philosophically in line with the original Satoshi white paper. versus the people that kind of won with Bitcoin. They kind of focus. They've kind of created a speculative. Basically, in my opinion, Bitcoin's a 401k now, whereas Bitcoin Cash is more like peer-to-peer electronic money. And with what we're doing with Tusk, we're not focused on trying to create a 401k. We're trying to create money that people are using. And so there's a big difference. But Bitcoin Cash is more like that. They're trying to focus on creating a cash system, a payment system, versus just an investment system.
Difference between a checking account and a savings account.
More like difference between
Digital gold.
a debit card and a 401k.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. Well, we've been on for over an hour. I want to thank Clovertag, Zach Carr, Flying Rich, the Hoff, Rogue Ranchi, who's going to be on tomorrow, but he showed up today too. And so let's go around the room. Zach, give your plugs. ToxicPatchCo.com.
Oh, yeah, you need follow us on Instagram at ToxicPatchCo or visit our website, ToxicPatchCo.com. Not to buy anything, but we appreciate your support.
All right, Flying Rich.
As always, flyingrich.com, youtube.com/flyingrich, and Flying Rich Vehicles. And on the grams, it's FlyingRich_official because John took the name Flying Rich.
I won't give it back to him. I'm holding it hostage. Now,
Sell it
Or
to him.
hostage.
To the moon.
hostage. Now to the number one Uzi builder in the world,
The biggest rich here.
Richard Hoffman, also known as the I gave you that nickname, by the way.
Yes, you did.
I want my royalties because you're famous now.
Oh, is that how it goes? As soon as I start getting paid, I'll start paying you.
All right.
You can go to my website at bwefirearms.com. I'm on, I think, all of the social medias, and it's just a variation of whatever they made me do to do BWE Firearms. It's either smashed together, or there's a dot in there, or a space, or whatever the hell I had to do.
All right. So basically, no one can find you on social media. Thanks.
All they got
All
to
right.
do is put in BWE Firearms, and I
That's
show
true.
up everywhere.
I'm just joking. Rob McNeely of Tusk.
Well, Tusk is easy to find. It's just TUSC.network. TUSC.network. That's TUSC.network.
There you go. All right. And the man who hijacked the show. But in a good way.
That would be me.
Yeah, that would be you. Clover Tack, the Tactical Leprechaun, one of my mentors on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm going to hijack it again, and I'm going to just take this away and say thanks everybody for watching this. It was fun. A lot of good people on the panel. Don't forget Rogue. Rogue had to bail. He only jumped in for a minute.
Yeah, he'll be on the show
a lot of these
tomorrow.
folks. Hush! I'm manipulating the conversation. Shut up, dude. Anyway, so a lot of these people. Rogue is a prime example of that. They're unlike me, who just sit around all day and eat oatmeal cream pies. They actually work for a living and do content and work toward the 2A and crash planes and do other things out there. So mad respect for those, show them some love and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, for me, what I always say is I'm on all the tubes and you can find those through the algorithms. So if you can't for whatever reason, then you're not worthy of finding me. So just don't worry about it. I do want to plug the shorts, not necessarily the video itself that I put out earlier. I don't care if you watch that for the 47 minutes or however, but click over there if you're curious about the rights that were restored here in Texas starting today, and constitutional carry, permitless carry. To John's point in his shorts earlier, whatever the heck you want to call it, our rights have been, at least some of them, have been restored. And if you need to learn more about that because you don't want to get out there and be ill-prepared and uneducated, so go over there. Texas Law Shield has put out a great little resource. A link to that in that description, and check it out. John, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. You can go to John Crump Live and find everything on this channel. Check out John Crump News. And with that, we are going to get out of here.